All right, back with another couple of tables of 10 and L, and I haven't played too much 10 and L lately. I've just been mostly playing 5 and L. It's been going reasonably. Seems every time I have a go at playing 10 and L, it doesn't go particularly well, but we'll persist, which I've said before, but I'll say it again. And I do want to move up to 10 NL permanently. One little milestone I've got in mind is making $1,000 at 5 NL. That's a little milestone I've got, and it'll take me a little while longer, but my current rate, I will get there within the next probably couple of months, if I, or less than that, maybe if I keep going. 31, 24, 14. A7 off in position. Probably should call, but session's just getting started. I'm tagging a few people. We'll play a little tighter. 9, 10 off. Again, fold. I tend to find I get a little bit tighter when I play here, so let's try and keep playing normally. Guy limps in. A few more sort of weird stack sizes we see today, so that should be an encouraging sign. And not putting any chips here on the left. If we can get it to a showdown and win, great, but seems very unlikely. Do we go for the 1 here? Would anybody check a jack on the turn? Would anyone call this, or would we be better off checking and calling? Don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe the guy, if this guy's checked you 3 times, he might bluff. No. I mean, there's hardly anything in it, so it doesn't really matter if you get that wrong. Not quite sure what the right play was. He had ace queen, that guy. And the other guy had a 9. So going into the river, we were last. We got lucky there. That guy didn't bother betting his ace queen the whole time. Yeah, that's pretty tight. We immediately get 3-bet here. Do we want to go for a 4-bet bluff this early in the session? Yes. Immediately get called and immediately get a shitty board. 4-bet bluffing is something I had sort of stopped doing as much. And I think we'll just go something like this. Be lovely if we could get a fold. And well, I guess snap fold. Well, that is lovely. Yeah, 4-bet bluffing is something that at 5 and out, I really don't do that much. Simply for the reason that you can win a lot of chips just by raise before fold, continuation bet. So some 4-bet bluffing I think is fine, but it's not something to be used to excess. That's probably true at any level. But once 3-bet ranges from your opponents become tighter, sort of it feels like your 4-bet ranges should also become tighter. We're going to check this back here on the left. Got a gutter, got backdoor clubs. Certainly could bet it, but don't particularly want to get check raised, and that's a nice card, which we will certainly bet. Just bet here, and ace-9 of hearts. I think it's okay to call with this. Going to bet large here. And we flop top 2 here. So here we're going to check, and I guess we just check and hope we win, and we don't lose king 3. So serves us right, should have bet the flop. This guy's got really tight stats, and he's betting into that many people. So I think we just raise and raise reasonably large. Get called. Club on the turn, obviously not what we were hoping for. So, but I still think we want to bet. And here we're going to bet fairly big on this board. Satisfactory on the right. A guy that tight, if he wanted to play there, probably would have just had a flush. Okay, he checks to us. I think we just want to bet pretty large. This seems fine. We're going to raise here with the queens. And a quick fold here. This time here, we'll just bet small, I think a third. I think it's okay to go third pretty much with range when you ISO. Get called. Interesting turn. I don't necessarily think there's any reason to bet here. We can obviously hit a diamond or a 10. There's a small chance we could already have the best hand. You could have a hand like Jack 10. So we'll check. Don't hit the river. If he bets, yeah, I think we just check. Hope he has Jack 10, but I expect to see stuff like Ace 7, just garbage like that a lot. Yeah, that was the one we wanted. And we have aces over here. Under the gun raise, and we'll just triple it, make it 6. Disappointing. But we've had aces, kings, and queens so far, so the cards have very, very few hands we've played have been fairly kind to us. Ace 5 spades. This is the kind of hand sometimes I'll 3-bet with. We've been fairly active so far. If someone looking at my stats, my 3-bet percentage is incredibly high. Obviously, that's just because I've had very strong hands, but obviously they don't necessarily know that. Ace King, and we get other favourable boards, hot pair and the nut flush draw. It's going to go small. This guy's throwing tissues at me. Calls. Yeah, I think we'll just bet again. I want to get value from Ace X. People will just like random club hands that may just be calling. Throws a horseshoe at me. King 9 off. Yeah, let it go. Aces again. Blimey. Well, unfortunately, nobody wants to play. They said, well, I mean, the cards so far. I don't think they've actually got any of the leaderboard things at the moment, but if they did, if I kept going like this, I think I'd be top of this leaderboard because those things work by getting good cards, not necessarily by good play. So, yeah, at the moment, cards have been kind. He goes 2.2x, I think, with 5-8 of hearts. This is a cool. Got position, got a vaguely playable hand. Half pot. We got backdoors, but I don't think we really need to call this. It's a bit weak. But then I am a bit weak. Okay, and we get some strange plays tonight. And this guy here is 23, 23, 21. We're going to go for the 3-bets. We're going to make it 12. Ooh, we get the 4-bet. And we are really deep. 4-bet range here. We've only got one time he's done it. It's only 100 hands, but he had kings. So he's made it kind of small. I don't know whether the right ace king off is just one of those hands where you can get yourself in real trouble. His 3-bet range, yeah, it's, of the hands we've got on him, it looks very, very strong. So I'll make a pretty feeble fold. But if we're 100 big blinds deep there, I might go all in. But when you're 140 deep, I'm not quite sure what to do in those sort of situations. That with more hands on him, I think I'd have a better idea of what to do. But with that few hands there, maybe it's just too conservative. Certainly, if people knew that's what you were doing, it would be way too conservative because it means they could just 4-bet you with just anything. Unless you've got aces or kings, you're just going to fold. But in general, people's 4-bet ranges are pretty snug, and getting 140 big blinds in pre, not what I want to do with ace king. If you just call, yeah, maybe that was the play, just call. And, get rid of it. I'll get rid of this too. Yeah. Yeah, with ace king, it feels way too tight to be folded, which means almost certainly it just is. Recognize just some of the names here. Of course, a lot of people who play 10 and L will be people who play 5 and L as well. And yeah, get 3-bet again. And ace 10 suited here. So king queen here we're going to fold. One of the issues I've got with a lot of people, I don't have very many hands on them, so I don't have any idea how they play. This here would be a 3-bet a lot. And certainly going to float on this board. We've got 2 overs and some backdoor draws. I think we're just going to go ahead and check. Expect him to bet this card a lot, and he doesn't, but we'll check and just try and mop up a bluff on the river that I suspect is coming. Okay, nice. Wasn't bluffing, he was just doing the sort of same thing I was doing. Okay. He 3-bets an under the gun ranger, 3-bet range is king queen offsuit. This is so awkward. I genuinely have no idea what to do. What? I don't have any time bank? I must have time bank. Huh. Okay. I thought I had time bank there. I was going to put it to 23. No, something like that. Oh well. Where did my time bank go? Where did I piss that away? Don't even remember dribbling my time bank away, but obviously I did. Seeing a few more of this tonight. A lot of open limping. Really, really unusual. Don't see that hardly at all. Open up the 8-6 heart. I think we'll just put it to 4. Expect to get called pretty much by everything. And I think we'll just start with a small bet. Get called. When some guy's playing like this, you kind of get the feeling that he might be quite a sticky opponent. But he could also just have loads of just really random trash. We will go for a double barrel. Yeah. Ace King from an open here from under the gun player playing pretty tight. So we'll go cool. This is actually the kind of board we could actually consider leading. In fact, I will. Maybe this is completely unconventional, just calling with this and then leading on a board we completely miss. Okay. But this board has to favor us in the big blind, and either he's just got a hand or... Yeah, playing pretty tight, so I would assume that this is probably just going to be an overpair a lot. Or maybe he just thinks my lead is full of shit. Conventional play there obviously is just a 3-bet pre-flop. But the same old thing, under the gun ranges from someone very tight are going to be... Ace King sort of doesn't even play that well against them. Alrighty. Another guy playing a very weird stack, so I've seen quite a bit of this tonight. Go with a slightly loose open here, some tightish players behind us. Ace-9 diamonds will make the call, and almost on the flop. When everyone checks, can we bet this into this many players? Just go for a little less than half pot. Get called. I think right now we're probably good. I think right now we're probably not because that's a friggin' dreadful card. Yeah, not exactly the river we were hoping for. Okay, get a min 3-bet here. I have to be honest, like with most things, I never really know what this is, what you should do with it. We'll take a flop in position. And he goes for a large bet. Without any information on the player, we've got no pair, no draw. I'll just let it go. Not really sure what those min 3-bets are, whether they're generally very strong or generally just filled with garbage. Closing the action here, call King 10. You got to imagine here, this on the button is littered with lazy c-bets, but I often refrain from, as you can tell, the no equity check raise bluffs. We flop top pair with what would be described as not a very good kicker, I suppose. We'll certainly make the call here. And I guess for this price, we have to call. Not really sure what he's going to have when he keeps doing this sort of stuff. If that's a third time, well, we're obviously going to check and take our showdown. He's got a similar type of hand. He's limping Jack 3, though, from the small. Not sure how good a play that is. We'll raise from the small blind with an ace. I get the feeling like 10NL seems like it plays nittier than 5NL. Maybe 5NL is not something that it's aggressive, is that you just get more people kind of splashing about. 10NL just as a state does seem nitty. Okay, and not exactly the ball we were hoping for. We can go for, if we're going to bet, I think we want to bet on the large side. I think that's what we're going to do. Usually I just check this back. And this guy's only got 5 big blinds, so I think with King 9 we'll just put him in. He's got Ace King. That seems unfair. I'm not going to lie. But that seems a lot fairer. That seems very reasonable. I'm on board with that. See, you get your little pre-flop moan in, and then you flop a hand. All right, we'll go for the 3-bet here with the Ace King against a guy playing half a stack, and if he shoves, we'll call. He calls, and we get a shite board. We'll just go for a real small c-bet. Get immediately called. I think here now we're just going to check and just let him rifle off if he wants to. If he has a jack, we're just going to have to pay him off. He checked back very quickly on that turn. Now, I would assume then that this guy's going to have a lot of. Well, we're going to have to bet here because of time back to run out, isn't it? It's going to have like 8s and 9s and stuff. 7, 6. So I guess we were right there that the check back on the turn was a weakish hand. And when he snapped my balls off on the river there, I got to be honest and say I thought I'd probably lost. But fortunately, he thought his 7-6 was the mizzles. Let's label that him as a whale, which I think is fair. Am I allowed to give myself the whale tag? No. Okay, what are we looking at here? I think, yeah, we'll go with that. Open with the 7-6 of diamonds on the in the big blind. The big blind under. I was going to say in the big blind, then I was going to say under the button, under the gun. King Queen of Hearts, certainly squeezable. The guy, though, who made the original raise is very, very active. And that flop kind of makes me sad. Get a guy tanking and then 3-betting here on the left. Very active player. That's out of position. It's not a very big 3-bet, but we'll make a tight fold. There's something I'm trying to do, and maybe I'm over sort of correcting, is avoiding sort of frivolously losing chips. So when you open 7-6 of diamonds under the gun, calling the 3-bet out of position, it's probably the right play, but I'm trying to avoid, like I say, just the frivolous stuff. And here, ace jack, this is usually going to be a 3-bet, but I'm okay sometimes in position, just taking the flop and going from there. And I'm going to check back, just try and get it to a showdown. And if he checks here, I think we're going to be good a lot. Not all the time. And if we'd 3-bet pre-flop like we're supposed to, we'd have won the hand almost certainly. So there you go. A lesson in not being a nit. All right, closing the action here on the right with the 8-6 of diamonds. I think it's pretty straightforward. Cool. And we flop a small flush. Everybody's checking. And do we want to raise or do we want to just call? What did I fold that? So I should have called that. We'll call and raise non-diamond rivers. Can we value bet this? He's not going to check the ace of diamonds. He's going to bet the jack of diamonds. So in other words, it has to be like the 9 of diamonds. I think we'll just bet tiny. Okay, worked out. What did he have there? If he had two, did he have 2 pair or 1 pair? He had king queen. Yeah, oh yeah, king queen of spades with river 2 pair. Okay, guy's pretty tight, so we'll just call here with 7s. Get an overpair. And we'll be check calling. I don't think there's any real reason to check raise. He's gone for a fairly large bet. He bet 6. I suppose we do have to call one more. It's not. And I suspect now we're going to get quite a few checks back, and we'll go half pot on the left here. We bet these jacks again. Will we slow down? Over here. All right, now we're going to bet the jacks. 7s. Is this just feeble and we're calling for like king queen, or is ever bet like a hand like ace 4? Look at the price we're getting. This is almost certainly just donking off chips. Yeah, kings. So that probably there was some avoidable chips being lost here. I assume this guy just had a hand like 9-10 suited. Ace deuce. My play a little bit erratic in spots, but some of the play I've seen I think has been encouraging. Not my play, but play from other people. There have been some weird stuff. We're going to call here with the 6-5 of diamonds in position. Popping a little baby flush draw. There's plays like I don't really know what to do against them because they're so weird, like betting 1. I don't know what that means. And I think now that we picked up a pair as well, we do have to call. We've got a guy behind us, which is a little bit dicey, but I think we can win with a 5, 6, or a diamond probably. So I think we do have to call. Can't win with that. We go for the ice over the ace-8 diamonds, immediately get our bum spanked. So we'll fold it, and unfortunately we don't get there on the left, so we're just going to have to fold. But again, they're not really sure what that guy's doing it with. What betting one chip, one big blind on the flop, then half pot, and then half pot again. It's all a bit weird. There just don't seem to be many really big pots. You seem to get way more all-ins and calls at 5NL than you do at 10NL. It's surprising that given that you'd assume the stakes play very similar, given that the amount of money involved is just not all that much. You'd assume that there wouldn't be much difference, but there does seem to be. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience. Raising it up with ace queen and getting 3 callers and flopping bupkis. So I think this is a pretty clear just check and give up. Everybody's calling, and we got the ace of spades, but I still think it's not good enough to hang around. But I will hang around, just have a look, see if I can see what the cards are. Whatever's going on. What's going on? And an all in. Blimey, what is going on? What is going on? I got to ask that again, because what the hell is this? Ace 8 offsuit. Fucking hell. And he's winning. He saw a guy bet another guy call who didn't have it, and then blasted it all in when he must have known he had no fold equity against the guy who didn't have many chips. And the other guy's betting to 2 players, so you'd assume his range is going to be reasonably strong. I don't know. We'll call here with the ace jack of spades on the button. Yep, 2 quick checks. I'm assuming the guy who's checked from under the gun is not going to check a particularly strong range, so I'm going to bet. I'll just bet something like 60%. He was the one I was afraid of, the guy in the big blind. Calls real fast. Now, what sort of stuff is going to call me? If he's going to have like 5s and 6s and 7s, hands like that, they will now probably fold. He's got tight stats though. I'm just not sure how much this guy is calling with nothing. Should have 3-bet pre. Get myself in a muddle by not being aggressive pre-flop. He bets 8 and yeah, I'm getting a little too passive. Got to get more aggressive. Got to get a bit more confident in my game. And yeah, we'll just give it up. 5-6 got there. Yeah. Yeah. Too passive, booklet, too passive. But part of it's wanting to be sensible and not just be blasting away with nothing. But the problem I have with that is then I get too passive and start, my red line just starts tanking. Echo Chris, he's the guy that bet 1 big blind a minute ago. We'll go for the 3-bet on the button with ace 10. Cold call from the big, and that guy folds, and we flop 2 pair. What kind of hands is he going to be doing this week? He's got relatively tight stats. I guess we're just going to bet, and we're going to bet quite large. We're going to size up for the turn because I think he's gonna have some of this board a lot of time when he calls. It's not going to shock me if he goes all in and he just calls. We've got pot size bets, so I think it's just time to put the chips in. It's a good turn card, and if he has us beat, so be it. No idea. I don't know really what cold call ranges look like in those sort of spots, or really any spot. Usually cold calls are often like tens and jacks. People don't want to four bet them, but they don't want to fold. Uh, so they end up just compromising and calling. But when a guy playing 40 big blinds, maybe his his range there is going to look a little bit different. And I'm just going to go with the third on this board. And those three are clubs. We're just going to check. We go for another barrel on this card. We block ace king suited. Yeah, we'll go for another bet. I don't do this too much. That's probably why. He donks half pot, so when he calls the flop, why don't we let's just give him a king and move on. You could have tried to get it. What was I going to get him to fold on the turn though when I bet a three or like pocket fours or something? Maybe it's a tiny bit optimistic. Here, we'll just give him credit for having a king. So video's over half an hour long now, so we will sit out next big blind. Don't like the videos to get too long because I don't think people like to watch videos that are too long or videos that are of any length as mine, but I'm getting some views. I didn't release a video last week, didn't get around to doing one. But as you can tell, my game needs work. I have some idea of what I'm doing, but not a huge amount. Okay, so session. Let's have a look at what the session was like. We up $5.63, 250 hands, or 249 to be exact. Red line just a little bit. Red line started off really well, basically because we kept getting good hands and no one calling, and then it started to dribble away as I got more and more passive. We're up about 850 at one point, dribbled down to 563. So a better session than we've been having. Still plenty of work to be done, but I've got to get more volume in at 10 and L to get a bit more used to it. Anyway, waffle on. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and there'll be more videos to come in the future. Take care. Bye bye.